Okay, so really quick, this is a weird kind of journal entry, but I feel like it's really important because I feel like people don't really want to talk about this part of learning something, anything new, but especially about learning languages. But it needs to be talked about. So, um, I can feel my brain growing from all of this work that I'm putting into learning the language, but it's also really hard because there are a lot of times, especially with my Portuguese, where I just don't feel like it's sticking. And that's part of the reason why I'm even recording all of this, is that I feel like there are a lot of people on YouTube and in the world and whatever that are language learners, they're polyglots, they're whoever, they're learning something new, you know, but especially with language learning, I just don't feel like it's painted in its pure light because nobody wants to admit that they are inadequate. And nobody wants to admit that they stink at doing this, you know. And my teacher, when I first learned about this method, he said the first 20 hours are really critical and they're really important. And that's where, you know, the foundation of the language is really established. And holy cow, guys, I'm coming up on 20 hours with my Spanish. Thank heavens. And I'm starting to feel it. It's good. I feel very, 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 very far away from 20 hours with my Portuguese, but I just like, this is hard. And I want people to understand that it's hard. Like, if you want to learn another language, you got to understand that just straight up, that it's hard. And if somebody isn't admitting that they struggled at some point with it, they're lying. I don't care who they are. They could be the most gifted person, and at some point they struggled somewhere, or they felt inadequate somewhere, or it just wasn't clicking somewhere. Like, yeah, and that's part of the reason why I'm trying to share this journey, is because I have been trying to learn another language on and off for years. I took a language in high school for at least a year. Nothing stuck. I tried to do another language in college and it stuck a little bit more, but I'm still not fluent. You know, I might have been close to at some point, but I just wasn't. And then I tried to learn Spanish 6 years ago. Tried to learn Spanish 6 years ago on my own because none of the other traditional methods were working, and that flopped, even though I was like following along with YouTube people saying like, oh, do this, do that, do this, it'll work, you know. It didn't work for me. And that's why I feel like if I had had someone who was like, it's going to be hard, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. You just have to be willing to get through the hard part. Then I think it maybe could have been more successful than it was. I definitely would not have waited 6 years to try again. So I want to talk about this elephant in the room of language learning that I just am not seeing anyone else talk about. Like, I follow a lot of language learners on YouTube, and they talk about like their tricks, and they talk about this and they talk about that, but I don't think I know any of them that have any like journal or like, I don't even know how to describe it. They don't, you've never seen them as a monolingual. And I know they were at some point, and I'm sure that when they were becoming bilingual, they had this huge hurdle that they had to get over, and some of them talk about it, but you're not seeing it. And that's why I'm so passionate about this. I want people to see this hurdle. And I want people to see that it's hard, but you can do it if you just keep going. So on the note of the hurdle, so on Saturdays is when I have my Portuguese class. It's pretty early in the morning, not like crazy early, but it's early for a Saturday. I want to sleep in. I do a lot during the week. I work hard. But so this last Saturday, it was my third live class with Portuguese, and I don't know, it's an hour long, and about 10 to 15 minutes into the class, I didn't want to be there anymore. And it's not because the teacher isn't good. She's amazing. And it's not because it's not interesting, because it is. But I felt very inadequate and very just inferior. I felt like I was holding everyone in the class back, because I'm the only one in the class that doesn't speak Spanish. Even though I'm working really hard to make that a reality, it's still the fact that they all already have a language under their belt. And that language is really similar to Portuguese. And so they understand concepts a lot faster than me. They process the language a lot faster than me. And they are like running the class. And that's not like in a negative connotation or anything, but it's like the teacher will ask them a question and they'll respond in a full sentence and give extra details and make it funny and all this other stuff. And I just was like dreading the teacher calling on me, because I was lucky if I could answer in a complete sentence. And I just felt stupid. Like, I just straight up felt dumb. And in that first 15 minutes, I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I feel so stupid. And I'm obviously not progressing at the rate that these guys are. And even though I know why, it doesn't make me feel better. But I was like, I'm going to stay. If she calls on me and I'm still feeling this way, maybe I'll just say that I pass and I don't want to talk today. You know, I was like, I have options. I don't have to talk if I don't want to. And, you know, I can just listen and learn by listening. But I know that's not where the real learning happens. But I just was like, I was feeling like that little kid in school when you're like in first grade and they're passing the book around and you have to take a turn reading and you're like, I don't know how to read. Like, please, can we please let a miracle happen and not have the book come to me before it's my turn? That's how I felt. And it got so bad that I was trying not to cry for like 60% of that lesson. Every time I thought about like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to talk, or oh my gosh, she's going to call on me, or I have no idea what they're saying. I'm lucky if I pick up something, you know, here and there. It was so debilitating and just soul sucking, because I want to be good. And I'm obviously not that great out of the whole class, but I know why. But that just doesn't always make you feel better. So, but I was very proud of myself. I didn't cry on camera in my class. I cried after the class, but I didn't cry on camera in front of my class, and I didn't walk away from my class. Like, I really just wanted to be like, oh, sorry guys, I've got to go. My son is calling me. You know, I wanted to do that so badly, but I didn't want to at the same time, because I knew this was going to be hard, but I didn't know it was going to like totally rack my self-esteem while I was doing it. So thankfully, had a good cry. I like conversed with my husband about my feelings, and just I'm in an additional learning process besides learning Portuguese. Is I'm learning it's okay to not be very good at something, that you can still do something even if you're not good at it, if you really want to do it, if you're willing to go through that situation of feeling inferior because you want to get that thing, like, you're gonna get it. And that's kind of just the place that I've come to, is that I'm gonna learn Portuguese. I might do it way slower than everyone else, and I might do it way messier than everyone else, but a messy win is still a win. It doesn't matter how ugly of a win it is, it still counts. And that's just kind of what I'm looking at now, is I might not win quickly or be super pretty when I win, but I'm gonna win. So anyways, I just wanted to share a little bit about like why I'm even journaling these things. And because, you know, I don't know, maybe no one else is like me, but when you're in the thick of something, it's really hard to feel like you're making progress unless you can look back and see where you were when you started. And that's what I'm really hoping that these vlogs are gonna be for me, is that, you know, when I reach whatever, how many hours in Spanish or Portuguese or whatever language I'm gonna do next, that when I feel like, oh, I just can't get over this slump, like I'm not progressing, I'm not any better, I'm still terrible, whatever the feeling is, that I can come back and I can watch these videos and I can realize, wow, I have come so far in such a short amount of time because I'm just working hard. Even if I can't see it one day, doesn't mean it's not happening. So, okay, I'm gonna stop ranting now, but I just wanted to get this in this journal of mine, that it's okay to stink at something. It's okay to be messy at something. It's okay to be bad at something. It's, you know, whatever. But that doesn't mean you can't still do it. It just means you have to believe that you can still do it. So anyways, I'll stop now. But and I really just hope that there's someone else out there who was like me, that wanted to learn languages for so long, but just felt like they were alienated in their struggle because they weren't seeing anyone else struggle. Well, come on into my world and see me struggle. I'm very good at struggling. And hopefully I make everyone else who struggles feel very welcome. Take a seat. Come on this struggle with me, because you're not alone. But yeah, so here's to tomorrow and all the wonderful lessons of tomorrow. Bye.